Welcome back, everyone. If you don't know me, I'm Penelope and I do book reviews, movie reviews, I do vlogs and a little bit of everything. I know it has been a couple of weeks since my last video, but life has gotten in the way, okay? But I'm back. It's all right. I am here. Today, I'm going to be doing a book versus movie review like I have done before. But this movie, specifically, and this book, has been out for a couple of years now. It wasn't until recently that it clicked. I can do a video about that too. The book versus movie for today is If I Stay.
Why me? Life is this big, fat, gigantic, stinking mess. That's the beauty of it too.
I'm still here, and I'm crazy in love with you. Please stay.
If you guys remember, this movie came out in 2014 and the book is written by Gayle Forman. I unfortunately had not read the book up until a couple of weeks ago. I did, however, read the sequel because I was super interested to know what happened to Mia. And I really was hoping that a second movie would have been made, but that never happened. This movie has been one of my favorite movies, and even though the acting in some incidents was lacking, I still consider it to be a comfort movie for me, so I do watch it every now and then. However, when I was about to start the book, I had high expectations because the movie itself was made so beautifully. So I was like, okay, I hope that the book is just as good as the movie, if not better, because that's usually the case. In this case, particularly, to me, I don't think the book is better than the movie. Before I start, I will be spoiling the entire movie and the whole book, so if you have not read the book or watched the movie, please don't stick around unless you don't mind. If you do mind, stop right here because I'm not gonna give you any more chances to skip this video, okay? So let's start from the beginning. The movie and the book are pretty similar. The beginning of it and the description of the family, and it was snowing, just like it happens at the beginning of the movie itself. So when I started reading the book, I was picturing the movie already because that's what I saw first. And I was like, okay, so it's very similar. So everything is good up until the point of the accident itself. When it got there, the description in the book is so much more detailed than the movie. Everybody was basically flown out of the car. And that description is not really seen in the movie because everything happens so fast and they just kind of cut the cars they're supposed to hit, and then we just see her getting up after the accident. That's when we start questioning what happened. By the way, the whole book is written in Mia's perception of what happened, which I found interesting. I have only read only one other book that was kind of similar, where the character is the only one who talks throughout the entire book. There's no scene of Adam's perspective. It's just Mia's perspective of what's happening. And it makes sense because the sequel, which is Where She Went, that I read, everything is done in Adam's perspective this time. I won't say it's my favorite thing to read, but it was very good. So anyway, let's go back to that car accident. So in the movie, we see that she is found like in a ditch somewhere away from where the accident happened. And she gets up, and when she finally stands up, she sees the first responders are there and they're taking care of everyone. In the book, this is not what happens. She does find herself in a ditch somewhere, but when she gets up to look around, the first responders had yet to arrive. So she saw everyone in their condition prior to, first aid. And this is very important because she saw horrible things. She saw her family in a way that it would just cause trauma. And I won't go into a whole lot of details because it is very descriptive and I would say gruesome at times, but I love that they make it clear that the accident was just that bad. So just for an example of how descriptive this is, she mentions, or she describes finding her dad, and she saw pieces of her dad's brain on the floor, and that is crazy. I'm not gonna say nothing more because it's just that bad. So in the movie, we see that the dad is taken to the hospital, and so is Teddy, but Mia knows that her mom passed away on the spot, right? When the first responders arrived, they couldn't do anything for her. And in the movie, she kind of goes back into memory to remember that she did see that. But then the dad ends up passing away as well in the hospital after surgery. They couldn't help him. And we know that that happens to Teddy as well. But in the book, it's not at all that way. I'm not sure exactly why the director of the movie decided to take that turn. In the book, it's different. Mia knows that her parents didn't make it right then and there. She decides to put that in the back of her head. She's like, I can't focus on that right now. I have to focus on myself and Teddy, because Teddy is being taken to a hospital. The thing is, in the movie, they put everyone in the same hospital, but in the book, it wasn't that way either. In the book, Mia was taken from one hospital to another. Teddy was in a children's hospital, and of course they couldn't tend to Mia there. So they were in completely separate hospital. Mia never saw Teddy. So in the movie, they put everyone in the same hospital, and we even see the dad in the hospital when that doesn't really happen in the book. The book gave me the idea that the accident, although really bad, right, and very traumatic, the book itself was all about Mia and Adam. And now, I won't say it was really about her family, because it was a way of Mia finding herself and deciding if she would stay even after everything that has happened. She doesn't know how to get back to her body, and we know that because that's exactly what happens in the movie. And in the book, she is constantly thinking about Adam, and it doesn't sound like they broke up either. So let's talk about their relationship. In the movie, we see that Adam sees Mia playing the cello, very lost in what she was doing, and the best friend was there, and Adam was asking, you know, like, if she a professional, and the best friend is like, no, she's not a professional, she's just obsessed. But she is a professional. So Adam had been watching Mia for weeks, and we end up finding that out later on when he confessed that to her. So the way he approaches her was with the Yo-Yo Ma reference. The Yo-Yo Ma reference that we see in the movie is that Mia has a bunch of stickers that say Yo-Yo Ma, and he points that out when she's opening her locker and getting things for her class. But in the book, it didn't happen that way. Adam used Yo-Yo Ma as a way of talking to her and approaching her, but there was no reference anywhere around. It was his way of, you know, starting a conversation. So throughout the book, they built a friendship. They went to the concert just like it happens in the movie. They did kiss just like it happened in the movie. But honestly, that was a little disappointing to me, because the author itself did not focus on that first kiss at all. It is mentioned later on. I didn't even think it happened. Like, they were talking, and she was asking him, you know, why you chose me, like, why would you look at me? She was very insecure in a way because of his lifestyle, and you know, her parents' lifestyle was very similar to Adam, but she didn't feel like she fit in, you know, with the family. So she did have a little bit of insecurities, and that's okay, she's a high schooler. I feel like we all have insecurities. I have insecurities now. So the details kind of don't make a whole lot of sense in the book. So that's why I think that the author decided to focus more on Mia and her decisions rather than the little details that drew me as an audience to watch the movie, and that I fell in love with that movie too. The similarities of the book and the movie are, I would say, they're pretty alike. They just decided to twist and turn some things. For example, the first cello that Mia ever got wasn't from school. It was the one that her father bought her. And he didn't have to sell all his stuff to do this, like it was put in the movie. In the movie was also put that she spent hours and hours as a child playing the cello, but it wasn't mentioned in the book either. So those details, I guess they decided to put it that way, I guess, to make the movie, but they really didn't happen in that order. So there's also a time where Mia remembers, like she goes back in her memory and she said that one of the happiest in the movie that they did a session where she brings out the cello, well, Adam gets the cello for her to participate with everybody at a bonfire. So this doesn't happen in the book at all. In the contrary, so Mia went to camp to learn how to use her instrument to feed a band, like a group, because she didn't think it worked. So I'm guessing that the camp and the bonfire kind of was put as like a family thing, and that is one of her memories that she mentions in the movie, but that's not what happens in the book either. Another difference is that Mia got stung by a bee while the family was having a cookout, and we see that Adam gets the sting out of her hand with his mouth, and I thought that was really cute and stuff, but that didn't happen either in the book. Actually, it happened to Adam, and who did that to Adam was Mia's dad. And I actually would have loved to see that in the movie because it was hilarious. It was like a little comedy, and that's what Adam used to tell Mia that he had more action in the relationship with her dad than he had with her. So that's when they started to call each other boyfriend and girlfriend after that moment, because there's a scene in the movie where Adam goes to Mia's bedroom and they have like this intimate moment, and that did happen. A little different as well, but it did happen, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. There was also the Halloween gig, I believe it was a dress-up gig. I'm not sure. I don't think it was actually Halloween. I can't remember that detail right now. But she did dress up like in the movie, and she did ask her mom for assistance on that, and her mom was really excited about it. And so it was told that she was waiting outside of the place that Adam was supposed to be playing at, but that's not how it happened. Adam picked her up, which I love, because I would have think it was kind of weird. Like in the movie they made Adam to be this jerk, like this rude boyfriend, and that's the idea that I had of him until I read this book. He's actually a sweetheart and rarely got mad or upset. And maybe they had like one little argument, which was when they were talking about Julia, because Mia did the whole process of Julia and never told Adam. And it wasn't until that day, I believe it was during New Year's or Christmas, yeah, I think it's New Year's time, that she told him about it. And he was like, well, he wasn't opposed per se. They didn't really have an argument either. It was more like it's a disagreement, but like in lower cap. Like they didn't even yell or anything. He was just pointing out how things were gonna work out if she was so far away from him, and he wanted her to go to Juilliard. So he wanted the best thing for her. He would have done everything he could have to make her dreams happen too. He never opened the letter that she got into Juilliard and never read it while she was in the ICU. The ICU break-in that he did with Kim, which is Mia's best friend, was very different as well. Like internal affairs director was included. Like it was a big deal. It wasn't as silly as they made it seem. So I believe the book has a lot of good things and good details that were missed from the movie. Personally, I would give this book like a 6 out of 10 because I did get bored at times. I wasn't sure where the author was going with the storyline, and the book ends exactly like the movie. eventually Mia has to make the decision if she wants to stay or go after finding out that Teddy passed. And Teddy was never in the picture after the accident. Mia never had contact with him, never saw him. She wanted to, but she didn't know how. So to me, the movie is better than the book, personally. At least better than the first book, because I read the sequel, and I will say that Where She Went is one of my favorite books till this day. I read it a long time ago, and I read it anytime I can because I just love it that much. It gives insight into what Adam was feeling when Mia had that accident and she lost everybody, but it also gives us the opportunity to see how much he loves her, which we didn't really get to see in the book. The book is all about Mia and her decision and losing her parents and how she can get back to her body, and if she can, would she stay or not. That's really how the book is. It's not very long and you can read it, very quickly, but it was a disappointment to me because I had high hopes, and since I love the movie so much, I was expecting a little bit more. Just like in the movie, it ends with her waking up. Adam did put a song, but it wasn't like classical music that he put in the headphones for her to hear it. It was different, but she did ends up waking up, and Adam, calls her name, and she responds, and that's how the book ends. It wasn't so much that she woke up and he said Mia, and it was just shut down. So anyway, it was okay. I think the movie is better than the book. I would say the movie is a 8 out of 10, and the reason why I give it an 8 out of 10 is because there were scenes that the acting was lacking. Other than that, I think it's a good storyline. It will make you cry. The book did not make me cry. Now the movie did. And the grandparents, just like in the movie, they're very involved in the decision of her staying or leaving. So if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. I'm still trying to find other books and movies that I did like. I don't always go for what everybody is reading or watching, so I have a particular taste in movies and books. I love romantic movies, and I don't like anything scary or thrillers. I'm not good with thrillers. But if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. And if you like this video, make sure to subscribe and like. And I always read the comments, so leave me a comment and I will say hi. I hope to see you guys next time.